is Trivia for Kids, where it's not just for adults anymore.
Hey everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Casey and Hiccups.
Hello, everybody!
Gwen has the hiccups just as we were going to get started recording. So
Yes, unfortunately.
we have this trick somebody told us about getting rid of hiccups. It's super weird, but sometimes it actually does work. So you take a straw and you put it in your mouth horizontally, like bite down with it with your teeth and hold it in your mouth as far back as it can go. And then you lean over the sink with the straw horizontally in your mouth so your mouth isn't shut. And then you drink a glass of water with this straw
It's worked.
apparatus in your mouth. And it does work. It's crazy. So hopefully, I'm curious if this works for you guys. If you try this trick,
Tell us.
let us know if it worked for you, because it's kind of a weird one, but it's a good one. So sorry about the hiccups, honey.
That's okay.
So we are doing something right now also during this podcast recording.
Watching Home Alone and making cupcakes.
So we're just waiting for the timer to go off upstairs. Ren will run downstairs to tell us the timer's going off, and then
We'll go upstairs to check the
have to go check the cupcakes and then come back down and record more, right?
Yes.
And we also, it's very early, but we also put up our Christmas tree this weekend.
Both of them.
We are very busy. We are busy with the girls' basketball tournaments coming up, and we just don't have a lot of time. And this weekend we had a little time, and so tree's up. Christmas is here in our household.
Mm-hmm.
Does it make your heart warm and fuzzy?
Yes.
Does it?
Especially since we're watching Home Alone. Can I tell the joke?
Yes.
This joke is from Eloise and James. Why was the artist suspicious?
Why?
Because he was so sketchy. You guys,
I think that's
awesome.
a great joke. Good job, Eloise and James. Very cool. All right. Cupcakes are not done yet. Let's get the rounds in. Ready to go?
Yep. Let's do this.
Here's how the show works. Trivia for Kids consists of 5 rounds with 7 questions each. We will announce the answers at the end of each round. Each new round will have a different category. After the 5th round, we will have the final exam, which will test you on the toughest questions we have covered in the previous rounds. Everyone ready? Let's get started.
Round number 1. The category is cats. Thank you to Aubrey for this category idea. Thanks, Aubrey. Question 1. Adult humans have 206 bones in their body. How many bones does a cat have? Question 2. How many litters of kittens can a cat have in 1 year? Question 3. What is a cat called that is born and lives in the wild? Question 4. What part of a cat's body is used mostly for balance? Question 5. All cats are born with what color eyes? Question 6. A cat cannot taste what kind of flavors? Question 7. How many toes do cats have? And now the answers to round 1. Question 1. Adult humans have 206 bones in their body. How many bones does a cat have?
230 bones, which is 24 more bones than we have.
Hiccup in there.
Then we.
So why do you think cats have more bones than
I don't know myself because they are smaller.
Well, think about it.
Well, they have a lot of bones in their tails.
There you go. They have a tail.
And their ears have a lot
And they
of.
have a few extra, I think they have a few extra vertebrae than we do. Don't quote me. Don't quote me, but I feel like I read
I'm
that.
not.
So, question 2. How many litters of kittens can a cat have in a year?
Up to 3 litters. An average litter is around 4 kittens, so cats can have roughly 12 kittens per year. I did it without a hiccup.
Yes. So, that's interesting. That's a lot of kittens
Mhm.
per cat.
Imagine having that many kids. Well, I suppose you wouldn't have to take care of them because after a while they're just like.
They just grow up on their own. But I think this is why cities and places that have like wild cats roaming around, I think this is why there are cat problems, because cats have babies and kind of have babies and babies and babies. And then there's just all these cats around.
Okay.
So get your cats spayed or neutered so that you don't have to deal with 12 cats a year. Question 3. What is a cat called that is born and lives in the wild?
Feral.
So I sometimes refer to you and Ren as feral cats in a burlap sack.
You do?
I do.
I've never heard you call.
Well, I do it behind your back because
Wow.
like when you guys are fighting and you're like
Such a motherly bond.
Yep. Feral cats in a burlap sack, you and your sister. Question 4. What part of a cat's body is used mostly for balance?
Its tail. I always wondered why animals have tails.
I think tails have a lot of purposes. Like
Yeah.
monkeys can swing from their tails, and
Mhm.
cats use them for balance,
What
and
about, like, dogs?
kangaroos
Just
use
for,
them
like,
to-
emotion.
yeah, dogs. Yeah, that's a good idea. They can use them for motion. They probably use them for, I don't know, beating each other. I don't know.
Don't cattle use it to like swash away flies and
Yep,
stuff?
horses definitely do. Horse tails are very helpful for that. Question 5. All cats are born with what colored eyes?
Blue.
Question 6. A cat cannot taste what kind of flavors?
Sweet.
Well, that's disappointing. It's too
Yeah.
bad. If you gave a cat some ice cream, it wouldn't even know that it tasted good.
It's like, I can't put my tongue on this flavor.
Tastes pretty bland to me.
Mm-hmm.
Question 7. How many toes do cats have?
18. Normal cats have 18 toes. 5 toes on each front paw and 4 toes on each back paw.
Did not know that they didn't have 5, 5, 5, and 5 like we do.
Yeah, I thought that they would have the same amount on every.
Foot. Yeah. Nope. I didn't know that. Round 2. The category is movies. Question 1. This question comes from listener Sadie. Thanks, Sadie. What movie takes place in a new theme park built on the original site of Jurassic Park and creates a genetically modified hybrid dinosaur, the Indominus Rex, which escapes containment and goes on a killing spree? Question 2. This question comes from listener Declan. Thanks, Declan. After accepting an invitation from a mysterious trainer, Ash, Misty, and Brock meet an artificially created Pokemon who wants to do battle in what movie? Question 3. What movie centers on a supernatural board game that releases jungle-based hazards upon its players with every turn they take? Question 4. What is the first movie in the Chronicles of Narnia series? Question 5. In The Wizard of Oz, what is Dorothy told to do in order to find the wizard? Question 6. What are Willy Wonka's small orange and green helpers called? Question 7. What movie is about a pig set to be Christmas dinner, but proves his worth on the farm by showing the farmer that he can herd sheep? And now the answers to round 2. I don't know what that was. Question 1. What movie takes place in a new theme park built on the original site of Jurassic Park and creates a genetically modified hybrid dinosaur, the Indominus Rex, which escapes containment and goes on a killing spree?
Jurassic World.
So we haven't let you watch the Jurassic Park movies yet.
Yeah,
They're a little scary.
but I'm fine with that. Hey, guess what just happened? I tried the remedy.
For the
No
hiccups.
more hiccups.
That's crazy. It did work, didn't it?
Yeah.
That was fake.
Yeah,
Good one.
it's fake.
Question 2. After accepting an invitation from a mysterious trainer, Ash, Misty, and Brock meet an artificially created Pokemon who wants to do battle in what movie?
Pokemon. Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution.
Who's Mewtwo?
I don't know. You could ask Renda. I think it's like a cat with like a really long tail and it's like pinkish, whitish.
He's just a Pokemon character?
Yeah.
Well, he strikes back evolution in this movie.
Ooh.
Question 3. What movie centers on a supernatural board game that releases jungle-based hazards upon its players with every turn they take?
Jumanji.
We love the Jumanji movies.
Oh yeah.
All of them. The original and then the latest ones. So
They
funny.
might be a little intense for some younger viewers, but they're good.
They
I
are
recommend
good.
them.
They're funny. Question 4. What is the first movie in the Chronicles of Narnia series?
The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
So, Dad and I want to watch this movie with you, but we want you to read the book first.
I actually started reading the book and I was like, hey, that's not that bad.
But then what happened?
I quit reading it. Our teacher read this book to us last year. And you had the choice to like color or draw or play games while she read that to you. And I drew. And I was so focused on my drawing, I couldn't pay attention to
So
it.
she read this book, The Lion, Witch, and Wardrobe, to you?
Yep.
But
But
Quinn, that's a great book.
I know there are like beavers.
That's the one. Yes, that's true. Question 5. In The Wizard of Oz, what is Dorothy told to do in order to find the wizard?
Follow the yellow brick road.
Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road. Question 6. What are Willy Wonka's small orange and green helpers called?
Oompa Loompas.
Have you watched Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory yet?
No.
The original old one, not the one with Johnny Depp?
No.
Oh, it's a great movie. We'll have to watch it sometime.
I read the Chocolate Touch.
Not, nope, totally different. It's a Roald Dahl book. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Question 7. What movie is about a pig set to be Christmas dinner, proves his worth on the farm by showing the farmer that he can herd sheep?
Babe. What movie is that?
You haven't seen Babe? Man,
No,
Babe is a great movie.
I've never seen it.
He knows how to talk to the sheep. And so instead of the dogs chasing the sheep, he just says, "Excuse me, sheep, can you please go into that pen over there?" And they're like, "Okay, you're polite. Let's do it." And the farmer's like, "I've got a pig that can herd sheep. It's a miracle." And then they save his life. It's a great movie. And he says, "Bah, ram you." No, the sheep do. It's great. We'll watch it sometime.
Okay.
Round number 3. The category is things you can drive. Question 1 comes from listener Carter. Thanks, Carter. What is the name for the top-of-the-line, street-legal, high-performance sports cars? Question 2. What massive machine is used by farmers to efficiently harvest crops from a field? Question 3. What is the name of the large diesel-powered construction machine made for digging out earth with its bucket to create trenches, holes, and foundations? Question 4. What is a small jet-propelled vehicle that skims across the surface of water and typically ridden like a motorcycle? Question 5. What is an armored fighting vehicle intended as a primary offensive weapon in frontline ground combat? Question 6. What is a low, wide-wheeled motor vehicle for recreational driving on sand? Question 7. What is a type of vehicle called that can drive on land or in the water? And now the round 3 answers. Question 1. What is the name for the top-of-the-line street-legal high-performance sports cars?
A supercar or an exotic car? The definition of a supercar describes an expensive car that's flashy, fast, luxurious, and prestigious. Think of a supercar as top of the line, the best of the best.
So Carter's mom wrote me an email asking for a question about supercars, and I was like, great. What's a supercar? So it's just like really like the best cars there are. Fanciest, top of the line, best of the best. Question 2. What massive machine is used by farmers to efficiently harvest crops from a field?
A combine?
We have lots of combines where we live.
Is that like the one that grinds up corn?
It's the one that you see in the field that's huge and it has the big front and then
Does
a
it
big
have
dry.
kind of like a top and then like a tilted front, and you sit on this like
Yes.
inside thing? Yes.
And then it goes through the rows and picks the corn or the soybeans, and then it puts them in the back, and then it
Does
takes
have
it.
a spitty thing at the front that's kind of shaped like a cylinder.
Nope, that's a
But
windrower.
But it has
It has like
lines on
it
it.
has like
It has-
teeth in the front that go through each of the rows and picks the crops. And then it puts it into a hopper and it knocks off all the bad stuff and it takes the good stuff and puts it in the back. And then once the back is full, then it shoots it into the wagon and the wagon farmer takes it to the elevator to give it to the people. That's a very fancy machine. Question 3. What is the name of the large diesel-powered construction machine made for digging out earth with its bucket to create trenches, holes, and foundations?
An excavator.
Question 4. What is a small jet-propelled vehicle that skims across the surface of water and typically is ridden like a motorcycle?
Jet ski. You want to know something? I'm the one that came up for this question. Yeah.
You did.
I'm the one that came up with the vehicle for this question.
Have you?
My mom is the one that searches up all these questions. She is awesome.
Thank you. That's nice of you. Have you ever ridden on a jet ski before?
Oh yes.
Oh, yes. Do you like to?
Yes.
Yep,
it's a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah, it's a little intense, but they're fun. Question 5. What is an armored fighting vehicle intended as a primary offensive weapon in frontline ground combat?
A tank.
Tanks are cool.
Do they have like cylinder, like pipe-looking things, and then you can shoot like bullets at them?
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. Question 6. What is a low, wide-wheeled motor vehicle for recreational driving on sand?
Dune buggy.
I would ride in a dune buggy. And if anybody wants to give me a dune buggy ride, I would take it. Question 7. What is a type of vehicle called that can drive on land or in the water?
Amphibious vehicle.
So I think there are a few different types of amphibious vehicles, but anything that can go from land into water is referred to as an amphibious vehicle, like an amphibian, which is an animal that goes on land and in the water. Round number 4. The category is flowers. Thank you to listener Jalen for this idea. Thanks, Jalen. Question 1. Why are flowers so brightly colored? Question 2. What is the female part of a flower called? Question 3. What are the green mini leaves at the base of a flower called? Question 4. Which 2 colors does a lilac bloom in? Question 5. In which country did tulips become a very good investment item? Question 6. The winner of the Kentucky Derby is draped with a blanket of what flower? Question 7. True or false? Like a birthstone, each month of the year has a birth flower.
And now the answers to round 4. Question 1. Why are flowers so brightly colored?
To attract bees. Bright, showy blooms indicate a plant's health, and this attracts bees. Bees come to gather nectar and pollen, and incidentally to spread pollen to other flowers. Pollen is a primary food for the bee's larva, and because they must carry it back to the hive instead of consuming it on the spot, it is easily spread to the other flowers.
So they're technically like a transportation vehicle.
Yeah.
Kind of like a bus. It's like, here, pollen, you hop on me and I'll drop you off on another at another place.
Absolutely.
Question 2. What is the female part of a flower called?
The pistil. The pistil is a flower's female reproductive structure. Its long neck is called the style, and this leads down to the ovary, where the plant's eggs are stored. Plants and animal reproductive systems really aren't as different as you might think. The male part of the flower is called the stamen.
Huh.
Do you know this?
I don't think so.
It's very sciencey.
Question 3. What are the green mini leaves at the base of the flower called?
Sepals. If you look at a flower from the bottom or upside down, you'll see what look like small green petals or miniature leaves, adhering tightly to the lowest petals.
I've seen those, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a flower, and then they have like green leaves. Like, I feel like it's like holding them
Yeah,
up.
it's almost like a base.
Yeah.
I didn't know they were called sepals. Here's the flower. Here is the sepal. Open the door
Open the door, seal
and
the
see the
petals.
pistil and the stamen.
Vocabulary, guys. We're crushing it tonight. Question 4. Which 2 colors does a lilac bloom in?
Purple and white. Lilacs are a very popular ornamental bush in landscaping. The variety with pale purple blooms is the more common one, and the white ones are a bit rarer.
I've never really seen a white one, I
Oh.
don't think.
Lilacs are one of my favorites.
They smell so good.
They smell so good. There's a lilac bush on one of our walking trails in town, and every time we walk by it, we pull a flower off and we smell it the rest of our trip, don't we?
Or we just like pass it and you can just smell
It from far away. Oh, lilacs are so amazing.
Question 5. In which country did tulips become a very good investment item?
Holland or the Netherlands. Same thing. Tulips are associated with Holland to this day, largely because of the great tulip craze of the 17th century, in which tulips outpriced gold. This flower is not native to the Netherlands, but was imported and became so valuable that fortunes were made or lost on their trading. So we know a lot about tulips and Holland because we live by a place that has a tulip festival every year, and they celebrate the Netherlands and their
have
tulips.
Big rides and a parade.
Yep.
It's so fun.
Yep.
Question 6. The winner of the Kentucky Derby is draped with a blanket of what flower?
Roses. This is why the most famous horse race in America is called the Run for the Roses. This is rooted in a tradition of men giving ladies who attended the race a rose. The Derby's organizer made the rose the symbol of the race, leading to the winner's victory wreath and the informal name. So if you win the Kentucky Derby, this horse gets this beautiful rose wreath draped around its kind of shoulders. Oh, it's beautiful. Did you know the Kentucky Derby was a horse race?
I didn't.
Oh, well, it is. It's in Louisville.
Question 7. True or false? Like a birthstone, each month of the year has a birth flower.
It's true. And if you'd like to know your birth month flower, I'll tell you. If you were born in January, it's the carnation or the snowdrop. February, violet and primrose. March, daffodil and jonquil. April, daisy and sweet pea. May, lily of the valley and hawthorn. June, rose and honeysuckle. July, larkspur and water lily. August, gladiolas and poppies. September, aster and morning glories. October, marigold and cosmos. November, chrysanthemums. December, narcissus and holly.
I knew the states had a flower or something, but I did not know that months of the year had flowers.
Yeah. So
remarkable.
You were born in July, so you have the larkspur or water lily. Do you know that Ren's name means water lily in Japanese?
Yep.
Round number 5. The category is U.S. presidents. Thanks to Sam for this idea. Question 1. Who was the 5th president of the United States? Question 2. Who was the first president to be born in the United States? Question 3. How many presidents died in office? Question 4. What year did Alexander Hamilton become president? Question 5. What state produced the most U.S. presidents? Question 6. How many presidents have died on the 4th of July? Question 7. Which U.S. president purchased Alaska from Russia?
And now the answers to round 5, question 1. Who is the 5th president of the United States?
James Monroe. So when I was in elementary school, we had an assembly and this guy came and he taught us to sing all of the presidents in order to the tune of Yankee Doodle. And I have used this little mind memory thing that I have for the presidents in order my whole life. Like I can, if somebody says, what's this, who's the 17th president? I just sing the song and count on my fingers. So it's become really useful to me in my lifetime. So bear with me. I'm going to sing the song for you and maybe you guys can learn it too. Washington, Adams, Jefferson, Madison, Monroe, Adams, Jackson, Van Buren, Harrison, Tyler, Polk, Taylor, Fillmore, Pierce, Buchanan, Lincoln, Johnson, Grant, and Hayes, Garfield, Arthur, Cleveland, Harrison, Cleveland, McKinley, Roosevelt, Taft, Wilson, Harding, Coolidge, Hoover, Roosevelt, Truman, Eisenhower, Kennedy, Johnson, Nixon, Ford, Carter, Reagan, Bush, Clinton, Bush, Obama, Trump, and Biden. I'm not kidding. Like, I use that song so often.
Really?
It's great to know. It's great to know the presidents.
Question 2. Who is the first president to be born in the United States?
Martin Van Buren, the 8th president. The Constitution requires the U.S. president to be a natural-born citizen, but the first 7 presidents were born before the United States gained independence, meaning they were from Great Britain. Martin Van Buren, the 8th president, was born in New York in 1782.
Nice.
Did you know that in order to be president of the United States, you have to be born in the United States?
I do. And you have to be either 25 or 35. 35. That's it.
That's it. That's all you have to do. Seems pretty easy. So you got
You
what,
have
like...
to be 18 to vote.
Yeah. True.
Question 3. How many presidents died in office?
8. The presidents that died while in office were William Henry Harrison, Zachary Taylor, Abraham Lincoln, James Garfield, William McKinley, Warren G. Harding, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, and John F. Kennedy. So 4 of these 8 were assassinated while they were in office. Lincoln,
John F. Kennedy.
Yep, Lincoln, Garfield, McKinley, and John F. Kennedy were all assassinated. Do you remember when we did the previous episode about presidents and we talked about William Henry Harrison, how he was only president for like 2 months because he rode his horse for a really long way and gave that really long speech and caught a cold and then died?
I remember that. Question 4. What year did Alexander Hamilton become president?
Trick question. He didn't. Alexander Hamilton was never president. He was just a very well-known man that contributed a lot to politics. Though he was never the president, he did serve as the country's first Secretary of the Treasury, as well as founded the first political party, the Federalists. So he was very important. That's why he's on the $10 bill.
And that's why they have a musical about him.
But he was never president. Ain't never gonna be president.
Ain't never gonna be president. No, never gonna be president. No. Question 5. What state produced the most U.S. presidents?
Virginia. 8 U.S. presidents have been born in Virginia. Ohio is close behind with 7.
I think Washington was. I think
Jefferson probably was.
Jefferson was. I think Madison was too.
Probably. Yep.
So
That's all I know.
I learned that from Hamilton, guys. It's so good.
How many were born in Iowa?
No.
I don't know if any have been.
Oh, I think there's like 1 or 3.
1 or 3?
I know. There's a lot off.
John Wayne's from Iowa.
Oh, then 1.
He's not a president.
Who dat?
John Wayne? He was like a famous actor in the Westerns back in the day.
Wow. How do we get from presidents to John Wayne being an Iowan citizen?
He's the only Iowan I could think of.
That's okay. Question 6. How many presidents have died on the 4th of July?
3. John Adams and Thomas Jefferson died within a few hours of each other on the 4th of July in 1826. And James Monroe died on July 4th, 1831.
It's kind of funny that John Adams and Thomas Jefferson were right next to each other while being president, and then they both died
Yeah,
on the same day.
It's crazy.
In the same year. Question 7. Which U.S. president purchased Alaska from Russia?
Andrew Johnson. Andrew Johnson purchased Alaska for $7.2 million. This purchase ended Russia's presence in North America and ensured U.S. access to the Pacific Northern Rim. I don't know a lot about Andrew Johnson. I had to look a little bit up about him. He was the guy who became president after Lincoln was assassinated. Lincoln, Johnson, Grant, and Hayes. So, yeah. And he was impeached.
That means...
Basically, he got fired and kicked out of the presidency.
Oh, what did he do wrong?
It had to do with slavery, and he did some stuff. So I don't know exactly, but he did some shady things, and they said, "You're out of here, Andrew Johnson." And now it's time for the final exam. Now remember, you've heard these questions in the previous rounds, but these were the hardest ones we've had. So use your memory and try to think back to what the answers are. Question 1. How many bones does a cat have?
230.
Question 2. What is the name for the top-of-the-line, street-legal, high-performance sports cars?
A supercar or an exotic car?
Question 3. What is the name of the female part of a flower?
The pistil.
Question 4. What is a cat called that is born and lives in the wild?
Feral.
Question 5. What are the green mini leaves at the base of the flower called?
Sepals.
Question 6. What is the first movie in the Chronicles of Narnia series?
The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Question 7. Which U.S. president purchased Alaska from Russia?
Andrew Johnson. And that's wrap, folks.
You know what's crazy? Your hiccups really are gone.
Yep.
It really worked. After that first round, I said, we got to go take care of this because people aren't going to want to listen to you hiccup the whole time. And you put the straw in horizontally.
I didn't even do it correctly. Like, it was in the front of it was like I've lost my pointy teeth. So I stuck it in between those two teeth. And I just leaned my head back and kind of.
You got to do it over the sink because it spills out. And
the first time I tried to do it in the back, and the straw kept popping out.
But whatever you did, it worked. So you saved the podcast from the hiccups.
Woo! Thank you guys for listening.
Have a good week, everybody. Thanks for listening. Please follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Trivia for Kids Podcast. And if you have a question idea or even an entire category, please email us at triviaforkidspodcast@gmail.com.